Okay, so why all the fuss about interest capitalization? It's mostly because companies will capitalize interest expenses and various other expenses to improve their income statement. And so there's various other companies, you can read through the notes here, that have gotten in trouble for doing this. And that's why FASB has the rules on capitalization of interest. This is how much you can capitalize, this is what you can capitalize, this is what you can't. My favorite interest or capitalizer of various operating expenses, and it's interest, but along with a bunch of other operating costs, was Bernie Ebbers at WorldCom. It tells the whole story of him here, but basically he built the company up from essentially nothing, and he had he became one of the biggest telecom companies in the in the world, and so he borrowed a lot of money because it's a very profitable company, but he wasn't quite living on his means. He had all kinds of stuff he was doing, and so he had borrowed a lot of money using WorldCom stock as collateral. So the collateral, that's like when you take out a mortgage, your house is collateral. Well, he was using WorldCom stock as collateral. So as long as the WorldCom stock had a good value to it, the banks were happy, because if he didn't repay the loan, they could get the stock. But the stock price started to drop, okay? And so the banks started getting a little nervous, and they were thinking about calling in the loan. So Bernie goes to his accounting department and says, "Oh, we got to do something about this. We got to switch things around." So they started capitalizing interest and a lot of other costs. The most egregious costs they capitalized were line cost expense, which is where they rent line capacity from other companies, and it's an expense. It's not a capital item, but they started capitalizing it. And so the income statement got better, the stock price popped up a little bit again, and everything went along for a while. But then eventually it all fell apart, as these things do. And it turns out, I don't know what the exact numbers are, they had expensed, they should have expensed about, I think it was like 3.1 billion in line cost expense. And instead, they capitalized it. So their income statement was that much better. Now, this has repercussions other than just for WorldCom and their stockholders. AT&T started looking at WorldCom going, wow, how are they doing this? We must be very inefficient. And so AT&T laid off like 20,000 workers, and they started buying up other companies to increase their efficiency as a result of WorldCom's bogus financial statements. So anyway, eventually it all fell apart. You could read the details of it. Yeah, so this was all around 2000. Yeah, they capitalized 3.9 billion in line cost expense, not in accordance with GAAP. And so all these losses were disclosed, and the stockholders' equity went from 58 billion to negative 13 billion. So this did not have a happy ending. So that's why there are the guidelines for, expensing. You can expense these things. You can capitalize certain interest costs, but not all of them. And it's good to know the guidelines on this, so that you don't end up, causing mayhem like Bernie Ebbers did.